my brew for the ultimate spooky rock musical is almost complete! Touch of this, dash of that. What do you mean? How the hell did I accidentally add a granny werewolf, a voyeuristic killer hitchhiker, strangely long commentaries on small town politics, and Nazis? Well, shit. Enjoy, folks! This is 1985's Hard Rock Zombies. After the Canon logo, which you know means a good time, we go on an epic road trip involving a driving sequence worthy of Birdemic. Then, the three take off in a Menage de Toyota as three gents in Bond villain level suits document the event. And they're really into it. Our femme fatale finishes off her swim buddies, and some tasteful dead nudes are taken. With that, she gets all sentimental. I wanna hold your hand. Elsewhere, we join a rock show just in time for the first in a string of music videos, complete with commentary by stereotypical small-town officials.
Do we really want the children of Grand Gugnall listening to this kind of garbage?
Afterward, the band enjoys some time in their skivvies, but are inundated by groupies and this very 80s piece of advice for signing autographs.
Don't dot the I too hard.
Lead singer Johnny has a moment with a teen fan that warns him to stay away from their next concert venue.
Just don't come.
On the way to the forewarned gig, he comes up with his own rock version of the Necronomicon, which for purposes of this review will be referred to as the Rock-conomicon. There's another experience, which leads this guy to subtly polish his guitar head in front of the hitchhiker. The band ends up staying at the femme fatale's place, where they're lent a hand in carrying their equipment.
Money!
Werewolf Granny makes her presence known, and music video 2 kicks into high gear, delighting us with many not scary people, a game of invisible wall, and some very unhappy locals who send the band to the big house. A follow-up town council meeting is convened to discuss the threat, and ends up going full footloose, outlawing the band as well as
rock and roll at any time, in any form, under any circumstance whatsoever, I think.
To which they take orgasmic pleasure in destroying. Back at the house, we get German senior sex action with an audience of grandkids, and non-German sex shower action that ends in an amazing psycho shower scene recreation. Sexy Grandma goes full werewolf and murders 2 more members of the band, while Jesse is taken out by a weed whacker wielding Nazi. Bet you never thought you'd hear of that combination in a horror movie. Jesse and his fellow bandmates' deaths are celebrated at a dinner where the elderly German guy turns out to be Hitler himself. And for unknown reasons, he's got jokes.
You heard the joke about the traveling salesman? Yeah, he came here!
Jesse's girl replays his Rock-conomicon over the fresh graves of her love and his band, which brings them back as... Impressively, they zombie speedwalk back to the house and take their revenge in some very chic threads. Everyone dies and Hitler is sad. Right before he's killed, Zombie Hitler, Grandma Werewolf, the little people, and everyone else pulls a Walking Dead and comes back with a new zest for life. We also learn that zombies can not only drive, but rock as hard as they could in life. Music video 3 starts with a live Jesse who enjoys very tight pants, which might have zombified his dick long before he died. Zombies take over Jimmy's market, this cow, and the interest of this music producer who straight up channels Back to the Future.
Yeah, listen.
One zombie of exceptional taste decides to try his hand at cannibalism. Hands down, looks like a pretty good meal. The townspeople somehow decide that zombies hate heads, so they pull out the biggest heads they can find, to not so great results. The Hard Rock Zombies continue to rock, and the surviving townsfolk decide that sacrificing a virgin will save the day, which leads to a very meta reflection.
This sounds like a cheap movie.
This whole day's been like a cheap movie.
After an epic chase, Jesse's girl is set to be sacrificed, but Zombie Jesse and the band save the day, leading the horde to Hitler's death cave to finish them off. It's a happy ending for everyone, including this zombie who found himself so delicious that, like the stuff, enough is never enough. Hard Rock Zombies is a 1985 horror comedy directed, produced, and written by Krishna Shah, and stars Phil Fondacaro, E.J. Curse, and John Fleck. It was planned as a 20-minute feature within American Drive-In, but the decision was made to invest in 2 projects, and a second feature was made out of the production. Director Krishna Shah was considered to be the first Indian to create a crossover between Bollywood and Hollywood. As a director, writer, or producer, he has TV episodes of The Man from U.N.C.L.E., The $6 Million Man, Love American Style, and The Flying Nun under his belt, as well as the excellent movie The River Niger. Hard Rock Zombies was considered a financial flop and was panned by critics across the board, being compared at times to Ed Wood. Adding insult to injury, on Hard Rock Zombies his name was misspelled on the writer credit. Now there is a ton of fun to this movie, as long as you don't let plot get in the way. It feels like they had a lot of fun ideas for scenes, but the plot thread holding all of those ideas together is tenuous to say the least, especially on the back half. Jesse and the band coming back from the dead to get revenge feels like an ending in itself, despite being only halfway through the runtime. Now, you can't say the last half of this movie is boring. It's chock full of everything you can imagine, and some stuff you probably can't. And there are bits that have excellent comedic timing, but any sense of plot or developed character is tossed out in favor of momentary laughs. Stuff just happens. Whether you're talking about a random collection of pickled hands, or little person grandkids that like to watch a disguised Hitler and Eva get it on. Now, all this said, I can't say I mind any of that. From the start, this is a movie that follows the MST3K mantra.
Then repeat to yourself, it's just a show. I should really just relax.
And I don't mean that it shouldn't be held accountable for the flaws, but in this case, doing that takes away from what the movie does best. There are so many good bad essentials in this, and I had a blast watching it. So if you're into films like The Dead Next Door, Black Roses, or Rock and Roll Nightmare, this is probably right up your alley. So what do you think? Suggestions for movies, trivial questions, comments, ratings, and a Rock-conomicon of my own would be appreciated. Thank you so very much for watching, and happy Halloween!